So 2 big games this weekend. What are you most eager to see? Obviously 2 victories, but what are you looking for from your team?
So look, everybody wants to win, and then you want to improve. But it's so early. It'll be, it's your first game out of your own arena, probably for the other team as well. Sure, I think, yeah. Especially when you got a young team. Like last year, I wasn't worried how we would handle that. But this year, obviously, I got a lot of guys haven't played a game outside of Pauley Pavilion or against another high major opponent yet. So it's all part of the process. It's time to get it going, time to get it started. College basketball, these games matter. If you win and you can continue to win, then they would matter to help you in NCAA tournament time. The more you win, the more your wins actually matter. I know that sounds kind of obvious, but if you don't have a good year, a big win or a couple big wins in a non-league wouldn't matter. If you end up having a bad year the rest of the year, you're not going to make tournament anyway. But this stuff, it's great. I know. Look, you come to UCLA to play against top 25 opponents. You come to UCLA, you want to play on the big stage. You want to try to, have a chance to go to Final Fours, play for titles. So you got to do that. You got to play good teams. So Illinois, I believe, back-to-back Big Ten champs. Just unbelievable run of amount of wins they've had in the Big Ten, but what Brad's done over the last 3 years. I mean, he's a proven winner.
What do you see when you look at them like that?
A lot of new guys, a lot of new guys. But when you have a good coach like Brad, immediate adjustment to life without Kofi in the middle, immediate adjustment to their style, trying to maximize their versatility. So he's just a really good coach. I have tremendous respect for him as a coach. That being said, they have a lot of new pieces, so even more so than we do. We obviously have guys back to play on a Final Four team still. The majority of his guys are gone. So he's trying to piece it together as, his leading scorers at transfers, got freshman guards. So, I suspect, first of all, this is going to be a tough game. Whenever you play his teams, they play hard. But they're a team that will improve as the year goes on immensely. I think 11 new guys or something crazy like that. Yeah, he's got a lot of new guys. So they'll continue to get better as they adjust, and their guys get adjusted, and he figures it out. But these early season games are good. You got to find out where you're at, compete against a high level team.
How much tougher is it to game plan at this point in the season, especially when a team has a bunch of new guys like that?
Just for Sacramento State, we had a new coach, and we didn't know what.
Right.
We're guessing what he did in 2019 when he was a head coach, and David was an assistant for a couple of years. They've played some games already. Right. They played exhibition and 3 home games. So, we pretty obvious when it's the days nowadays. Everything's online, so film wise. But the difference is. Neither one of us have really been tested. So, what do you got? What are they gonna? Who's gonna be their go-to man when it matters? It's a little bit different when you're playing a game and you're coaching a game. You see me coaching a game like the other night that I know we're gonna win. Once I know we're gonna win, I'm almost coaching like it's practice. Because you got to get something out of it. You got to use it as a practice to improve, to get ready for Illinois. And, I'm sure Brad's doing the same thing. So, versus when you're going to be in a dogfight, okay, now, what are you going to run offensively? Instead of practicing things, what are you going to do defensively? Instead of trying to maybe let your guy play the post-up one-on-one, are you going to double? What do you're trying to maybe teach a guy, let a guy learn. So, that'll be the unknown. Does your rotation shorten? Does his?
Dylan Andrews has seemed to make an impact kind of outside of his role so far. He's had, I think, 3 offensive rebounds, a block shot. What have you seen out of him so far through 3 games?
I think with Dylan, the biggest adjustment for him is playing point guard. He has to be a point guard to have a future. He's fast and he can score, and he's an unbelievable person, unbelievable kid. Getting him, it's hard. He's trying to remember to play, and I'm trying to make sure he knows where everybody's supposed to be so he can find the open man. So it's a lot for him right now. I think at times I probably have him thinking too much, but he's got to become who he wants to become. So with a guy like him, it's almost like a start over, but his talent he's got great quickness and he can score and he plays hard. So it's just a learning, how to really be a guy at his position that can make reads and not just rely. See, he could just rely on his speed and his talent his whole life. But you can go. I jokingly tell players, that's great, that works. You can go back to high school and play there forever. But as the higher up you go, you have to learn the mental part of the game. You have to grow as a player, especially at that position. It's almost like playing quarterback. So, but he's got a world of talent, and he'll get it all. It's just it's just a lot comes at you as a freshman point guard. So I'm trying to get him to get his cerebral game up. At the same time, when I can get him playing with his speed and just being aggressive, that's when he's at his best. But to become who he needs to become for his career, learning and quarterbacking the whole situation is a growing process for him.
This time of the year, you see these teams, get picked off by teams from outside Power 5 conferences.
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
Yeah. What does it say to your team to have that focus through the first 3 games and kind of put these games away?
Well, look, when you have a really young team and you're redefining roles and you're searching for who your score is going to be, the so-called bye games are the danger zone. I've been doing this a long time. When you have veteran guys in the locker room like that we have, that understand that those games, that if you don't come out ready and give a bunch of threes, you can get beat. Also, I have a theory on that. If you have enough talent to where you can get to 70 or 80, it's hard to get beat. You can't get to 60, or you're hanging around 60. I don't care who you play. It's going to be a close game. People can get 60 points in a college game. So, but there's a lot of it going on. It goes on every year. And nowadays, I think what the biggest difference now is you go to try to make, like next year we're going to have a very young team. So you try to make your schedule, be careful who you bring in. But then all of a sudden in May they're liable to get 4 transfers after you schedule them. I mean, the world is just so different nowadays. You can try to schedule a certain way based on the team you're going to have, but all of a sudden you could lose 2 guys and the guy you scheduled could get 2 guys. So it's tough.
You've held teams to 18.9% on 3. How much of that has been your defense versus?
I think combination. I think we've been able to play hard enough that when you can play hard and really make it tough on people, it affects their ability to make shots. You've heard me say this a lot. Comfortable teams shoot a high percentage. I also think our perimeter defense is just better with Amari and Jalen Clark. And, I think our perimeter defense is just better. Those 2 guys are really athletic. And then you come in with Dave, who's a veteran, Dylan, who can really defend on the perimeter as well. So I just think we're a little more athletic there as well. But, it's not realistic, I like our chances this year. We're sitting in a press conference in March and we gave up 18% for the year from 3.